Kai here with Kaitaku, and today I have got another Be Too Weird review for you. So for the month of January, we have been participating in a virtual tour for Evan Winter's Fire of Vengeance. And so Fire of Vengeance is the second book in the burning, the first book being The Rage of Dragons. Now, I've said before on this channel that I have wanted to do a review of The Rage of Dragons, and honestly, I just never got around to it. And I finally have finished Fires of Vengeance, and you can see by all of my tabs, I've got thoughts, opinions, and questions. But I am so excited to do a review with you all today. As you know, if you've watched my other videos before, and I will link to another Be Too Weird review up here, but Be Too Weird is a book club where we read sci-fi and fantasy books by authors of color. And every once in a while, we kind of do a book tour. And this time we picked Fires of Vengeance by Evan Winter. And we recently read The Rage of Dragons in, I want to say, October. It was our October book, and we got hooked. And when this came out in December, we had to do a tour. So I am so excited to share this with you. My goal is to be absolutely spoiler free. So let's hope we stick to that. So a little background information on The Rage of Dragons, which is the first book. Our main character is Tal Solarin, and he is a lesser. So this is a society with a caste system. It is set in kind of an African culture. And so you've got your royal nobles, your nobles, and then you've got kind of your lessers, and your lessers are broken into different castes. And so the book, The Fires of Vengeance, actually has kind of like if I can get to the page, a breakdown of the caste system. So the Amehi people are broken down into nobles and lessers, and then the nobles are broken down into certain categories, and the lessers are broken down into certain categories. And so Tal is a lesser, and he is a high common, though people keep referring to him as a low common, and he corrects them, and then eventually he just stopped correcting people. So Tal is a high common, which means that he is still part of the lesser caste, and he's towards the lower end of the lesser caste. There's only two castes lower than him, and that is low commons, and of course I would flip away from the page, and the drudge. And the drudge are kind of your unseen, unknown workers. They're not allowed to speak. They kind of live in the ruins, and they kind of tend to like the lesser tasks that no one wants to do. So in book one, we meet Tal. Tal has a friend named Jabari, who is a petty noble, and the two of them are training under Tal's father, Aaron, so that Jabari can pass the test to get into military school, because all of the men go into the military, and after they go into the military, then they come back and kind of start their jobs. And so there has to be a test, and if you are unable to pass the test, lowers become drudges, because basically they are seen as not having any value. And then nobles also are kind of put into this low caste system where they are not allowed to really do anything, because if you can't be in the military, their society kind of sees you as not really having any value, because they are kind of a war-based society. And so he is helping Jabari train. We go off to Jabari's test, and during the test, Tal gets into a scrimmage with a noble, which ends up in his father having to pay for him hurting a noble. And because Tal hurts this noble, some of the higher nobles, including the Queen's champion, come in, and Tal's father ends up dying so that Tal does not. So this leads Tal on a tale of revenge a la ABC. And so that is kind of where book one takes us, as Tal is trying to get his revenge. Tal is becoming more powerful. Tal is learning how to fight, learning his fighting style. He gets into the military because in the military, if he gets through his training, he can challenge anyone to a blood duel. And this is how he thinks he's going to get his revenge. So book two kind of ends in a bit of a coup. And so that's where book book one ends in a bit of a coup, and that's where we end up for book two. So book two, we are here, and it is time for the Fires of Vengeance. And boy, is there lots of vengeance. This story is high-paced. It is constantly high-paced. It never slows down. That makes the book extremely consuming. And so every page I was like, what's going to happen next? What's going to happen next? But it also makes the book a little exhausting. So there's no like ebb and flow of like high points of activity and low points of activity. It's always a flurry of activity. You were dealing with war, you were dealing with coup, you were dealing with third party, the Zadine, trying to come in and murder them because they took the Zadine's land. Like there's a lot of complicated dynamic structures going on. And so the story stays fairly fast-paced the entire 504 pages. So we are with Tao. Tao has now risen to power. He is now able to stand with the queen, and now they are trying to kind of settle this civil war that is going on in the Omehi people. This book I thoroughly enjoyed. I enjoyed book one. I enjoyed book two. I will say that I'm starting to kind of see a shift in Tao. This is a quartet, so I knew I wasn't really going to see much character development in Tao until like book three, and so most of book two I had some of the same frustrations that I had in book one with Tao. Tao is a late teen, so I believe at this point in time he's like 17 or 18, and so he makes a lot of decisions that a very angry 17 or 18-year-old would make, and considering everything that's going around, I found that extremely frustrating. We have Tao's friends who are there to support him. We have Hadith, Uduak, Themba, and Yao, and Jabari. And so they are there to support him. They are supporting cast, and Tao actually ends up recruiting most of them to help with a secret mission that they're hoping is going to give them a chance to defeat the Gifted on the other side. Now, the Gifted are a group of women. Every woman is tested the same way that men test to get into the military. Women are tested to see if they have powers. And if they have powers, they are trained as Gifted. And so the Gifted are able to call on the dragons. And so we've got our dragon face right here on our cover. And we are trying to protect the Gifted. And so Tao kind of trains his men on how to fight in the underworld, because the underworld is where the Gifted go to call on the dragons. And so Tao is training his men to fight in the underworld and fight the demons so that they can protect the Gifted while they call the dragons, so that hopefully they can win this civil war. There are a lot of different characters, and not having done a review on book one, I'm trying not to spoil anything for you, but we're dealing with a lot of characters. We're dealing with Queen Siora, and Queen Siora is the original queen. We are also dealing with Princess Essie, who has now claimed her own throne. And so these are the two factions that we are dealing with. Queen Siora, the original queen, and now Queen Essie, who says that she should be the rightful queen. And we are trying to decide, as this story keeps going, you know, who's actually in the right? Who's the real queen? And are the decisions that are being made actually good for the people as a whole, and not just the people making the decisions? So the book is definitely intriguing. You get a little bit of palace politics. If you like military stories, there's definitely a lot of the military as we are fighting these battles, different strategies going on. And so I definitely enjoyed those aspects of it. The author's writing style, like I said, continues to be fast-paced. He does make a lot of the characters relatable. I do not find certain characters relatable, and his main character, Tao, is definitely polarizing. He was polarizing in our book club. We had half Team Tao, half Team Not So Much, and I am definitely on Team Not So Much and Team Uduak. So they are so many characters that you finally get to know. We actually get more women in this book. Book one, because we were in the military training camp, we got a lot of Tao and his sword brothers. Book two, we actually get a chance. We've got the queen, we've got the queen's visors, we've got the queen's badass handmaidens who know how to fight. And then we've also got the Saw Priestess, and another gifted who is extremely powerful. So we finally get more female characters. They play an integral part of the story. We also have Queen Essie. And so it's good to actually see a more diverse cast of characters in this second book. I am weary of how the author is going to continue to use these characters. Some of them I did not appreciate the outcome. And so I am interested to see, because there does seem to be a theme between book 1 and book 2, how he treats certain characters. I am interested to see if this theme continues in book 3 and book 4. And so I do think that this is a book that if you like dragons, if you like action, if you like adventure, if you like the military, if you like fighting, if you like coups, if you like palaces, if you like all of the above, this is definitely the book for you. You are going to love it. It is so well written. Book 1 was actually, the author self-published it, and it became so popular that a publishing company reached out to him. And so the rest of these books are published, and they are published by Orbit. And so I do think that this is a book that a lot of people can enjoy. A lot of our book club members, their spouses and significant others have been reading it, and the spouses are big fans as well. So I do think that this is a book that kind of transcends genres and demographics and is well liked by many people. I do have my own kind of concerns with how the author treats some of the characters, and while the cast is very diverse, I have some concerns of how that diversity is going to play out over the course of the quartet, and whether or not, you know, he's going to hold true to some of the characters that he has brought into the story. So all in all, I highly recommend The Fire's Vengeance. If you pick it up, please let me know. I always want to talk about books. It makes me so happy. So leave a comment below. What are you most excited about for 2021? Whether it is a book release, whether it is a birthday or a milestone, graduation, or something of that nature coming up, what are you most excited for in 2021? I would love to know. So like, subscribe, hit the bell, all the standard YouTube things, and I will see you next time. Bye.